starting this evening by checking out the world-famous The Pirate's House in Savannah. Join us today as we do just a little Splorin.
Splorin!
The Pirate House here in Savannah, Georgia has a lot of distinctions. One of which being it is one of the oldest restaurants, well, really, one of the oldest structures in all of Georgia. Parts of this building were built in the 1730s, other parts were built in the 1800s. Captain Jack Sparrow in the window was probably closer to the early 2000s, I'd say.
But you have heard of me.
But this restaurant is well known to be one of the most haunted spots in all of Savannah, if you believe the stories. Let's start today in the gift store for the Pirate House, upstairs through this winding staircase. Wow, this is actually a lot bigger than I expected it to be.
That's what she said.
Where to even start? Well, we can start here, of course. Cripes, look at his eyes.
Welcome to my nightmare.
I don't like it. Whole bunch of mermaid dolls. Again, a little dead-eyed, but that's okay. So, Ian just pointed out, there's a very familiar face over here. He's not called Captain Jack because, you know, the law. But, ooh, tiki. Technically tiki. Nice collection of flags up top.
You're a grand old flag. You're a high-flying flag.
I don't know that I've ever seen this many t-shirts for sale at a restaurant gift store before. They've got voodoo dolls. This is voodoo country, by the way. Haha, inappropriate. I like this shirt. It's no sleeves, so I'm not buying it, but I like the message. Love that. Look at that. Glass Japanese fishing float. Haha, still inappropriate. Got a whole bunch of... Yeah, so... right here, Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. You will see this book for sale pretty much everywhere in Savannah. But a lot of other Savannah books, walking tours, ghost books, folklore. Yep, see, Ian's counting. Here we have Action Eyes. They're action sunglasses for active lifestyle.
To the extreme!
They look like drugstore sunglasses. Active drugstore sunglasses. If this says anything other than when you're having a rum, I'm going to be very disappointed. I feel like anything that results in an alligator is a surprise.
Take care.
Pirate jelly.
I'm very aroused.
And then we're right back downstairs to the restaurant. I like these signs, by the way. If you go to the bar, you're a thirsty pirate. If you go to the restaurant, you are a hungry pirate. If you stand right here, you are an indecisive pirate. And they're going to ask you to leave. Here is the bar that is specifically mentioned for thirsty pirates. They've got free ice water here, so obviously they've learned. It gets super hot, super muggy here in Savannah. It's like a giant swamp, so water out for everyone probably saves them a lot of time that they would be spending pouring ice water for free for everybody that comes in, because this is a walking city. All right, this is a house pirate, not the house pirate as I understand, but it is a house pirate.
Yes, and he's very stiff.
He looks like
He's not
it.
very flexible.
He has not been to the bar yet, obviously.
He's frozen in time.
Well, aren't a lot of us, though. So I didn't get her on camera. She doesn't really want to be on YouTube, which I get, but they have a house pirate by the name of Esmeralda, and she gives free 10-minute tours of the building. As I understand, this building, besides what you've seen, there are 15 dining rooms. There is a series of tunnels underneath the building that actually go all the way out to the river. I'm told they were an escape hatch of sorts for pirates and sailors. Take everything with a grain of salt. There's a lot of things that have been said about this particular building that probably are, I don't want to say not true, but the truth has been stretched a little bit. They say that the pirate Lafayette was from here. That probably is not true. They say that Robert Louis Stevenson wrote much of the book after coming here. Dubious at best, but it definitely was a hangout for some real-life pirates and sailors back in the day. All right, they're taking us to our table right now. I can definitely see it's broken up into little miniature dining rooms, but this used to be various houses and taverns, so that would probably be why. I bet. We are in the captain's room, which smells like fresh seafood in a good way.
This place smells like fish.
Perhaps not unexpectedly, it's a little cramped in here, but when you consider the age of this place and the layout, that's not shocking. I see a pistachio encrusted fresh catch. It's interesting. You know, the usual steaks and pork chops, shrimp and grits, of course. I think everyone in Savannah has shrimp and grits.
It's the law.
Seafood salad, corn fritters with blackened shrimp, and of course, sheep crab soup, another thing that you're going to find down here. This is kind of interesting. They're the Low Country spring rolls. That's barbecue pulled pork, collard greens wrapped in a fried spring roll, served with spicy mustard and barbecue sauce. That sounds good. I will not be getting it, however, because that honey pecan fried chicken is calling my name. For those who imbibe, they've got the Pirate House drink menu. Release the Kraken, Pirate Pleasure, Pirate Mojito, Savannah Storm, Savannah Tea. Let's see, Pirate Margarita, the Savannah Bloody Mary, infused with cucumber, red and green peppers, carrot, yeah, I'm out. There's way too many vegetables there. And of course, your mocktails. And speaking of which, for the kids, they do have a kids menu. Long John Silver, which is a hamburger and cheeseburger. Bold Billy Bones, which is shrimp. Healthy Buccaneer, which is seared chicken or shrimp with a salad for the weird kid. Lord Goodfellas grilled cheese, pirate pasta, Darby McGraw, Tough Captain Flint. That would be the chicken tenders. I know that's where most of your kids are probably going to go, and certainly mine. And then, of course, some mocktails for them. Most of them are daiquiri type things. And on the other side of this menu is an old Long John Silver style pirate hat.
Because the Pope owns Long John Silvers.
We've got a few minutes before the food comes out, so I want to show you some of these other rooms. There's very small rooms in here, as you can see. Only a few tables. You got the hallways where they've got people eating. You've got the pirate den room in here. I think this is one of your main dining rooms down here. You see the kitchen, obviously, but look how large this particular room is. And they are going downstairs right now to the rum cellar. In the corner of the room, they got this eerie underground chamber with ancient walls of handmade brick and the mysterious arch tunnel entrance, now sealed for safety reasons, were uncovered by workmen in November 1962. So this is one of the tunnels that apparently leads out to the beach. Right here's a sign for the Herb House. This is actually the oldest house in Georgia, and you can see in here, we got a little one table room. And here is the entrance down to the other tunnel. You can see down there. I don't know if they take people down there. I think they may for tours. As you can see, it's starting to get a little dark here in Savannah. We probably have another half hour of daylight, but I want to show you the outside, give you a little bit of context as to what we're talking about. Now, our table is that last window you see right over here. Also, you see the sign right out front that says Trustee Garden. When Oglethorpe, who is the gentleman that founded Savannah, first put together his plan, the Trustee Garden was one of the sections he had put aside. It was supposed to actually be their answer to Chelsea Gardens in Great Britain. And this property right here is where that was situated. And I think they're There's still some gardens in the back here, but not what you would call his original design by any means. Look how large this building is, though. All of this and around, that's all the Pirate House. Right here in this building that you have the, I suppose, Irish pirate flag.
Who am I? 16th century female Irish pirate Grania O'Malley?
That's the Herb House, and this is what they're claiming is the oldest house in Georgia. Now, I've done a little bit of reading on it, and that claim is in dispute just because, as you can see, there's some brick near the bottom. And as I understand, the way that those bricks were done, the way that they were used, period, does not necessarily jive with the claims that this is the oldest. But it is certainly, if not the oldest building in Georgia, one of the older buildings in Georgia. And as you can see, it's generally, from the outside at least, largely in the same condition. It's been brought up to code, obviously, but they didn't do a whole lot to change it up in terms of the structure. In fact, look at the beams that they've got here. The shutters coming off. In fact, if you look at the building, I don't know if you could see on the video, but it's almost slanted looking because it's so old and so warped. Right on the outside, this old pirate sign for the Old Pirate House, associated with Savannah's maritime history and Robert Louis Stevenson's Treasure Island, built in 1754. Visitors welcome. Now, this is 1754. Over here, I believe, this building for the Herb House was supposed to be 1734, I believe. As I said, there is some talk that Robert Louis Stevenson may have come here way back when and then been so inspired that he wrote Treasure Island. There is also some talk that the pirate that lived here was of the same name as one of the pirates in the book.
It's really loud.
Captain Flint would be the name of the pirate that they say was here, lived here, died here. That is the same name of the pirate that was in the beginning of Treasure Island, passed away. They don't really specifically say what it was. It's related to his amount of drinking. I'm guessing probably like cirrhosis of the liver. But if you follow the stories, or at least a Captain Flint did own this building around the same time that the story took place, and did in fact die in this building. Now, I'm going to keep saying this, take everything with a grain of salt. It is very hard to prove all these things. Record keeping at the time was not great, and obviously the Civil War came through in the 1800s, and a lot of things that were historical were kept in terms of records throughout the entire South were destroyed. Savannah was not burned like most of Georgia was. This was the only major city, I believe, at the time that was not burned. But the Union still came through here. There were still issues. In the meantime, as you can see, the Pirate House is getting very popular. There are people waiting outside to get in. There are a lot of tables in here, and obviously they're very close together, but as I understand, the Pirate House can comfortably hold 120-some patrons at a time. I'm going to bother my daughter now. Before I go back in, looking up in the windows, there are a lot of cardboard cutouts of pirates. All of them so far look like they come from the Pirates of the Caribbean movie. I see Keira Knightley and Jeffrey Rush right there. Also, I don't know if you can hear that. It is starting to thunder pretty good, and I'm feeling a drop or two coming down. That is how evenings often go in Savannah during the summer. I'm going to get us back in just a moment, but before I do, on the outside of the building, I want to show you a couple more things. This is the back side of the restaurant. They have a little nautical reference right here, but this is the parking lot. For those of you that may be curious, they do have their own parking, and you can see from the back end of their parking lot, like over there's the Marriott, and if you go this direction, you end up on River Street, which is the big waterfront entertainment and dining shopping area for Savannah. That will be a separate video. Also, from the smell of things back here, someone's probably going to be really hungry really soon. I was just told the food has arrived, so before I go in, I wanted to show you this one last thing. This is the historical marker for the Trusty Garden. At this site was located the first public agricultural experiment garden in America. I didn't know it was first in America, and it was the first in the area. And with that, let's go see how the food turned out. I know I've said it before, but it smells amazing in here. Yeah, it looks like the food has indeed arrived, and that is the pecan chicken. As you can see, there's some actual finely chopped pecans on top of the fried chicken. It's like a honey bourbon pecan sauce on there. I got the fries. It is supposed to come with vegetables and sweet mashed potatoes, but I did not do that. Kendra went with a broiled shrimp and crab cake mix. Kate has the kids' fried shrimp, and Ian has the chicken tenders and fries. There is an adult portion for those of you who are perhaps a little picky. So, quick review of chicken. It's good. The breading, good. I've had better. But the chicken itself is really juicy and sweet. Due no doubt to the honey bourbon pecan. All right, wrapping up our experience here at the Pirate House. The check came to $122. That is before tip. So, not inexpensive, not terribly expensive. About what I expected. And so, leaving the Pirate House and our rather stiff friend right here, and heading back out onto the streets of Savannah. Hey, if you haven't done so already, I sure would appreciate a big old thumbs up below. If you enjoyed this video, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button. You can even, smash that subscribe button, as the kids say. And hey, we will see you next time when we do just a little more Splorin.
And like all the pirates say, yeehaw. Oh my god, I keep messing it up.